Even though she doesn't play for the Iowa Hawkeyes anymore, Caitlin Clark is still followed very closely by all of her fans from college. She will likely go down as the most impactful athlete to ever come through Iowa. Now, she's looking to build her WNBA career with the Indiana Fever, and she put together an impressive rookie season. During her rookie season, Clark ended up playing in 40 games. She averaged 19.2 points, 8.4 assists, 5.7 rebounds, and 1.3 steals per game. In addition to her averages, Clark shot 41.7% from the floor and 34.4% from three-point range. Heading into her second WNBA season, Clark could very well find herself being a part of the NBA All-Star Weekend. ESPN NBA insider Shams Charania has made a report that suggests that the NBA is considering including Clark in All-Star Weekend events. One option would be to expand the Stephen Curry vs. Sabrina Ionescu three-point shooting contest to include Clark and another NBA player, potentially Klay Thompson. Curry and WNBA star Sabrina Ionescu of the New York Liberty participated in the first NBA vs. WNBA three-point challenge at All-Star Saturday night this February in Indianapolis. Curry and Ionescu are in strong conversations to return in a variation of the shootout, which could include other NBA and WNBA players such as Klay Thompson of the Dallas Mavericks and Caitlin Clark of the Indiana Fever, sources said. Fans would absolutely love to watch a three-point shooting event between those four athletes. The Curry vs. Ionescu event was extremely entertaining already. Clark has built a global brand. At this point in time, it would be more surprising if she isn't included in the All-Star Weekend events for the NBA than if she was. Just like she did during her college career with the Hawkeyes, Clark is changing women's basketball. She has put the WNBA on the map as must-watch basketball entertainment. It will be interesting to see what 2025 has in store for Clark, and all Iowa fans are sure to be right behind her, rooting her on. Indiana Fever's superstar Caitlin Clark has certainly made a name for herself in the world of basketball, and her impressive skills on the court have even won over the likes of Skip Bayless. The well-known sports commentator recently expressed his admiration for the rising star, drawing a fascinating comparison between her passing abilities and those of NBA legend LeBron James. Reflecting on his evolving opinion, Skip shared, "I wasn't a big Caitlin Clark fan when she was at Iowa. Though I got into it a little more in the Final Four and certainly the final game. I found myself captivated watching her. It's clear that her standout performance during the Final Four piqued his interest, showcasing just how captivating Caitlin can be when the stakes are high." What really caught Skip off guard was Caitlin's exceptional passing game. He noted, "And I still can't quite explain why, because I thought she was just a three-point shooter and I didn't see this at Iowa, but she's a LeBron-esque passer of the basketball. I didn't see that coming." This revelation highlights how Caitlin has evolved as a player, surpassing expectations and showing that she's more than just a sharpshooter. However, it's not all smooth sailing for Caitlin. Skip also pointed out her tendency to rack up turnovers, saying, Caitlin Clark, led the league by far in assists, but she obliterated the all-time turnover record. This statistic underscores her fearless approach to the game. Caitlin isn't afraid to take risks, attempting ambitious passes that might not always connect. As Skip noted, she will try anything at any moment, thread the needle where there's 17 hands in between, and you're not going to get the basketball through. This willingness to push boundaries is part of what makes her such an exciting player to watch. Overall, Caitlin Clark is earning serious respect for her talent and determination. Her ability to surprise even seasoned analysts like Skip Bayless with her on-court heroics speaks volumes about. Sabrina Ionescu was narrowly defeated by Stephen Curry in the NBA WNBA three-point shooting contest last year. Nevertheless, Ionescu challenged Curry and made things interesting. Ionescu may participate in the event once again, and this time she may have a teammate. According to Shams Charania of ESPN, Curry and Ionescu could be joined by Klay Thompson and Caitlin Clark. Thompson, of course, is Curry's former Golden State Warriors teammate. The Splash Brothers won 4 championships together with the Warriors. Thompson ended up joining the Dallas Mavericks this past offseason, but he could team up with Curry once again during NBA All-Star Weekend, which happens to be in San Francisco this year. Clark, meanwhile, emerged as one of the most notable stars in the WNBA this past season. Ionescu and Clark are among the best three-point shooters in the league, and they could challenge Curry and Thompson in a three-point contest. Ionescu's New York Liberty won the 2024 WNBA Finals. The Liberty star would love to add an NBA three-point contest victory as well. The Curry-Ionescu contest was extremely popular a season ago, so a rematch could still draw plenty of attention. Adding Clark and Thompson, however, would be an especially intriguing element to the event. It remains to be seen if Clark and Thompson are even open to the idea of participating in the contest. Clark is currently enjoying her off-season following a long last year which saw her quickly join the WNBA following her final college basketball season. Thompson may want to place his focus firmly on helping his new team win games. With that being said, perhaps the Indiana Fever star and the former Warriors NBA champion will agree to participate in the contest. After all, both players are competitive and would likely welcome the challenge. For now, it is not certain as to who will officially participate in the NBA WNBA three-point contest, but it does appear that the league wants to bring it back. As mentioned, it was the highlight of last year's NBA All-Star Weekend. The NBA is also working on potential changes to the All-Star Game itself. The game has often been criticized in recent years for being an offensive showcase with minimal defensive effort. However, the league would like to increase the competition. Perhaps the NBA All-Star Game will improve this year. At the very least, fans can expect to see the NBA WNBA three-point contest return. Flau'jae Johnson has sparked speculation that she might be joining the Indiana Fever after lavishing their new head coach Stephani White with compliments. The LSU standout and key player has stirred up conversation about her potential WNBA future. With the 21-year-old set to be draft eligible in 2025, her comments have increased rumors of a move to join up with Caitlin Clark, the 2024 Rookie of the Year, at the Fever. On a recent episode of her Best of Both Worlds podcast, Johnson didn't hold back her thoughts on the Fever's coaching update, saying, "Let me tell y'all, the Fever, the Indiana Fever having Stephani White as a head coach. I really like that, I love that." She summed up why she's so fond of her in 8 words, explaining, "I feel like she is a player's coach." Johnson continued, "I even remember when she was recruiting me at Vanderbilt, I was like, I like this lady I want to go play for her." While White was at the helm of Vanderbilt during Johnson's transition from Sprayberry High School to college hoops, by the time Johnson decided on LSU, White had already left her position, reports the Irish Star. Johnson candidly revealed that the presence of White at Vanderbilt would have been a major factor in her decision-making, admitting, "I tried to go where I like the people and she seemed like a good coach." Since starting her college journey, Johnson has racked up an impressive list of honors, including snagging last year's NCAA championship with LSU, being named the SEC's Freshman of the Year, and earning the McDonald's All-American Award in 2022. In the 2023-24 season, as a sophomore, Johnson boasted a free throw average of 76.9%, along with averages of 5.5 rebounds, 2.1 steals, 2 turnovers, 1 block and notably 14.9 points per game, signaling a promising future ahead in her basketball career. White said farewell to Vanderbilt in 2021, took a 2-year hiatus, and then made a comeback as the head coach for the Connecticut Sun in the 2023-24 season. Under her leadership, the team clinched second place in the WNBA's Eastern Conference this season, boasting a record of 28 wins against 12 losses. After playing for the Fever from 2000 to 2004, White stepped into the role of head coach in November, taking over from Christy Sides. Sides had led the team to its first playoff appearance since 2016 but ultimately fell to White's Sun side. Upon her appointment, White said, "I am incredibly proud and honored to return home to Indiana and lead the Fever during such a pivotal moment in this franchise's history, as well as during such an important time throughout women's athletics. This franchise has and always will be committed to winning, and I look forward to working every day to help deliver another WNBA title to the greatest basketball fans in the world." With potential draft pick Johnson joining the Fever, she could join forces with the remarkable 22-year-old Clark, who made an unforgettable splash in the WNBA in 2024 by shattering numerous all-time records during her first year. Snatched up by Indiana as the first pick of the WNBA draft, Clark soon demonstrated her worth to the team. Commanding attention, she clinched 66 out of 67 votes for the WNBA's Rookie of the Year honor, following an exceptional streak that included the highest points and assists ever recorded by a rookie in one season, along with setting a record pace as the quickest woman to surpass the 100 three-pointers milestone. Juju Watkins is rewriting the script for college basketball excellence. Just 4 games into her sophomore season at USC, the 19-year-old guard has joined an elite club, surpassing the 1,000-point milestone in her collegiate career. Watkins achieved this feat in Friday's commanding 81-50 win over Santa Clara, a moment that further solidified her as one of the most exciting young players in the game. Remarkably, Watkins reached the 1,000-point mark faster than Iowa's Caitlin Clark, the all-time leading scorer in NCAA Division I basketball. Watkins reached 1,000 points in just 38 games, an achievement that puts her in rarefied air. By comparison, Clark needed 40 games to accomplish the same. Watkins now stands alongside basketball icons like Delaware's Elena Del Dunn and Weber State's Kathy Miller, who also hit the milestone in 38 games. Only a few, including LSU's Marae Jackson and Oregon State's Carol Mencken, have done it faster, reaching the benchmark in 37 games. Watkins' scoring prowess has been evident since her days as a standout high school player in California, where she earned multiple National Player of the Year honors. Her transition to college basketball has been seamless. Finishing her freshman year with an incredible 920 points, Watkins has shown that her ability to dominate opponents transcends every level. Joining the 1,000-point club also places Watkins in the company of USC great Cheryl Miller, whose record 3,018 career points remain the benchmark for the Trojans. Miller has become a mentor to Watkins, offering guidance on navigating the pressures of elite competition. Ahead of Watkins' NCAA tournament debut earlier this year, Miller advised her to prioritize mental resilience over physical performance. "I'm not worried about the physical. You're a young kid, and you're going to continue to grow into your body," Miller told Watkins. "It's the mental fatigue that I worry from you. That's what I need from you, to find that quiet space." The Trojans' victory over Santa Clara pushed their record to 4-0 this season, with Watkins continuing to shine as the team's centerpiece. As USC prepares to face Notre Dame on November 23, the sophomore's rapid scoring pace has left fans and analysts wondering just how high she can climb in the record books. While Caitlin Clark remains a household name and the standard-bearer for NCAA scoring, Juju Watkins is proving she's more than ready to take on the mantle of greatness. With each game, she's not just closing the gap but creating a legacy that could eclipse even the most celebrated players. At just 19, Watkins has the basketball world at her feet, and she's only just begun. Stephani White has set a bold target for Caitlin Clark and her teammates after returning to the Indiana Fever as head coach. The Fever made the playoffs this year, only to be swept in the first round by the Connecticut Sun. That led to Christy Sides being fired and White returning to the organization she previously served as a head coach and assistant coach on a 2-year contract. Sides was accused of not making the most of Clark's talent. Therefore, the Rookie of the Year's relationship with White, 47, will be key to the Fever's hopes of championship glory. The new coach has made it clear that is her goal. In an interview with The Fan, Indianapolis, White was asked what is the next level for the Fever. Making it clear what she expects, she issued a 4-word response: "It's competing for championships." She added, "The expectation was always to be competing for championships, and I think now we have an opportunity again to be doing that. Whether that will be next year or future down the line remains to be seen," with White acknowledging that the improvements required aren't going to happen overnight. White knows Clark will be key to her plans, describing the 22-year-old as a generational talent. She also singled out Aaliyah Boston, saying she will go down in history as probably the best center that we've seen in our league. White said, "You think about building around those two, championships is the expectation. You compete for championships year in and year out." Her return to Indiana comes with interest and coverage of the WNBA at an all-time high, with Clark's popularity a major factor in its boom, according to Sue Bird. The women's basketball legend told the Deal podcast, "Even if you look at the 2023 viewership in the WNBA Finals, it was way higher than 2022. It was starting, the fire was there. But Caitlyn came and she poured gasoline all over that thing and just took it to another level.
Bird's assessment is backed up by numbers, with the WNBA enjoying its most successful year in terms of viewership and ticket sales. The league attracted an all-time record of more than 54 million unique viewers across its broadcast networks, which include ABC, CBS, and ESPN. A record 22 regular season games averaged at least 1 million viewers, while the season as a whole saw 136.29 million hours of coverage consumed across all national networks.
WNBA prodigy Caitlin Clark has been a breath of fresh air for the Indiana Fever, and it looks like her new coach Stephani White could be one too.
Clark, 22, has emerged as women's basketball's brightest star following a stellar first season with the Fever that earned her the Rookie of the Year award. Despite her outstanding contributions, however, the team failed in their quest to clinch their first WNBA championship since 2012, bowing out in an early playoff tussle against the Connecticut Sun.
After firing Christy Sides, the Fever unveiled White, 47, as her replacement.
And according to NBC Sports pundit Terica Foster-Brasby, the former Connecticut coach could have a swift and profound influence on her new team, both on and off the court.
Fever supporters have developed a reputation for having a sour outlook, and Brasby thinks that could change with White at the helm. She's most certainly not going to stand for any of the negativity that had been associated with Fever fans, she said while speaking to On Her Turf. And we know it's not all the fans, but there were certain ones who use the Fever name to kind of spew things that just do not stand for what the WNBA stands for.
Stephani White is always outspoken on those sorts of things, and that's never going to be something she'll put up with.
She's never going to tolerate it. Brasby also feels White will build optimism and morale in the Fever locker room, adding, "From an off-the-court standpoint, I think the culture will absolutely change. I didn't cover Indiana on a regular basis to know whether there was a negative culture there, but White brings a culture of winning, of confidence, of understanding your public face." On the court, Brasby predicts a transformation in Indiana's defensive game. "I know one thing, Steph White loves a quick, fast-paced offense," she said. "It was difficult to do that at Connecticut, they were an older team. Well, this is a much younger team, so that offensive style should actually work well here."
The other thing we say with Connecticut was their commitment to defense.
And that defensive presence was very important to their success. That means that this Fever team is going to have to buy in on being stronger defensively, no matter how well we want to give Caitlin Clark her flowers, and we should.
We also have to be honest that their defense was not the strongest for this Fever team, and specifically Caitlin Clark.
That's where I think Steph will make an immediate impact.
She will implement a structure that everyone is going to have to be committed to. This implies that Clark's game could undergo a significant transformation next season, as White aims to establish a reputation for solid defense and organization at the franchise.
Will this be beneficial or detrimental to the young prodigy? Only time will tell.